Uh, we're so thrilled to have Governor Jared Polis here. I will be brief and not do a long steam winding introduction, but you already heard how key agencies in Colorado are thinking about this, and Colorado is very fortunate to have a real leader in the governor's office who is passionate about school bus electrification specifically, who has put forward a bold budget proposal that really stands to move the state forward a long way and significant way, if adopted, towards an equitable school bus electrification deployment strategy. And so, Governor Polis, we're just grateful for your time today. Thank you for joining us. And I know all the school district folks here and policymakers and other stakeholders from the industry and the advocacy space are looking forward to hearing from you. So thank you for joining us and offering your perspective on school bus electrification. And over to you, Governor. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Justin, and thank you to the World Resources Institute and the Electrification Coalition for organizing this event. I want to thank all those whose hard work helped bring together this great group to discuss electric school buses in Colorado. I'm thanking Senator Hickenlooper and the rest of our federal delegation for, of course, an investment that will dovetail well with what we as a state can do that in the Federal Infrastructure Act. At the state level, I want to thank Senate Majority Leader Fenberg and Representative Valdez, also the EPA, Green Latinos, the Go EV City Coalition, Colorado Energy Office, CDPHE, and Department of Transportation. I'm really excited that several utilities will be discussing their ideas later, as well as our friends who've begun to implement electric school buses, Boulder Valley, Denver, and Steamboat Springs, on a limited basis, but showing how that can work. Those of you joining today know that getting these buses on the roads quickly and replacing the dirty diesel fleet really will require collaboration between the state, school districts, bus drivers, community members, environmental organizations, and of course, we're also thrilled to have some participation from the federal government too. All of these contributions will make sure we do this right. We do it quickly. We do it to the benefit of our health, to save school districts money, and move forward as a state. You know, it was about a year ago when I went for my first ride on an electric school bus. It was in Boulder Valley School District. It was amazing how quiet and clean and modern it was. Just a terrific experience. And I remember talking to the driver who had been a driver for many years at BVSD, saying she would never go back to driving a diesel bus again. One of the things we hear from school districts, of course, among filling difficult positions is filling bus drivers. And anybody who's driven an electric bus can tell you it's a far more pleasant experience. Doesn't smell, no fumes, quieter. And so we enlarge the pool of folks that will do that work, and it will help districts with the pressing issue of recruitment for bus drivers that don't have to worry about feeling queasy or having to wait for the bus to warm up on a cold winter morning. And, you know, as we learn more about the benefits, it's very profound. One of these big ones, and for those who are from school districts on the line, this is very important. It's about saving school districts money that can go into the classroom for better teacher pay, smaller class size, rather than diesel fuel. I mean, the diesel fuel budget alone of large districts runs in the millions of dollars. That could be, and even for a small district, if it's 50,000 or 80,000, that's, you know, another staff position or another raise for teachers. So it's costly to run a diesel fleet. You're also beholden to the price of diesel gas, which is out of control of the district. So as long as you are, you know, held harmless for any increased costs up front, which is really what the state collaboration is all about, your utilities, the federal government, all at the table, as long as it doesn't cost you any more to get into electric buses, which is the piece we're trying to figure out, they save significant operational resources over time, money that is best deployed in the classroom. So, you know, for me, somebody who is passionate about our schools and education, a big part of my career, State Board of Education, it's exciting that part of the clean air package, which is so important for our state, can also free up resources for the classroom, in addition to contributing to cleaner air. Now, it's also about more than just the overall air quality, because you can make impacts in that in many different ways, and this is a good one. But it's also about the exposure of children to direct pollution from diesel school buses. It's actually the single greatest toxic exposure for their young lungs. Going electric improves the health of our youngest residents, which actually leads to better academic outcomes, less days off of school, and also advances the important cause of environmental justice. With Colorado in the leadership role of investing in adopting electric buses, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, cleaner air, healthier kids, more money for our classrooms, also sends a clear message to bus manufacturers to scale up quickly and get moving to meet our ambitious goals. So we want Colorado to be among the handful of states that can demonstrate, yes, the demand is there. Yes, we have a bold vision of replacing diesel school buses over 5 or 6 years, all the buses in our state with electric, or nearly all. And that is a bold message that will help further reduce costs by providing predictability around scaling up manufacturing. And those benefits, by the way, are particularly important for high pollution corridors. And that is the environmental justice piece. As in many environmental issues, Black, Hispanic, low-income households are disproportionately exposed to health risks from traditional trucks, from traditional buses, in addition to the school bus traffic, the kids themselves. We need to make sure that everyone benefits from the transition to clean school buses. And in November, we proposed about a $500 million air quality one-time package. And there are many aspects to that: accelerating the adoption of clean technologies, better monitoring of oil and gas, a focus on our disproportionately impacted communities. Included in that proposal, we proposed $150 million to get the vast majority of diesel school buses off our roads in the next 6 years. And I want to thank Senator Fenberg, Representative Valdez, for really taking ownership of the air quality package, ironing out the final details to make sure it works for rural districts, urban districts, CDPHE, the monitoring of oil and gas, e-bike program, clean trucking, a lot of great programs in that. And it's really important that our state leads on this front, just as we have in so many others. Federal funding helps a bit, but it's no substitute for state action. In fact, we hope that combined with the federal source and some other funds, we can fully affect this transition over 5 or 6 years to the vast majority of electric school buses. Health benefits, more money for our classrooms, and improvements in air quality and reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. I'm proud of what we've done to date to help make sure that our kids and communities breathe clean air, and the state is ready to support our schools and bus maintenance staff. We're excited to engage our utilities. Many of them are very forward-looking and exciting about this as well. Helps with recruitment and retention of bus drivers, improve fleet performance, lower maintenance costs, zeroing out the diesel fuels costs, obviously replacing it with electricity, but we're talking, a quarter of the cost or less operating of diesel fuels, and make sure that we can attract and retain a great workforce to operate and drive and maintain the buses. When I think about the opportunities ahead, electric school buses feel like a real world magic school bus. And for those of you familiar with that series, we have a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old. Miss Frizzle famously said, "The best way to know is to do." So let's do. With your work today, rather than just a experiment and a pilot, we can have a real initiative to effectively replace nearly all diesel buses over the next 5 or 6 years. With your work and your efforts and your wisdom to support this program, to make it work, to structure it so it works for school districts and utility providers and manufacturers. I'm honored to have this opportunity to speak with you, and I hope you share my excitement about making sure that the Clean Air Package cleans our air, reduces greenhouse gas emissions, but also improves kids' health and saves school districts money so that they can reduce class size and pay teachers better. Back to you, Justin.
Thank you so much, Governor. We appreciate your leadership on this issue. We appreciate your joining us. Thanks for being here and giving us your perspective. And hopefully folks viewed that as a call to action, and excited to have heard from the governor today. And Aaron, I think you're teeing up the next step in our program.
Yeah, sure. Wow. Thanks again, Governor. Your leadership in this space is amazing. The work that you're doing to position Colorado in the kind of forefront of that electric school bus transition, really amazing. So 6 years, 5 or 6 years to get rid of these diesel buses, really phenomenal.